Our story begins with the students at school buzzing with gossip about a transfer student who's set to arrive today. The girls are excited, hoping that the newcomer will be a handsome young man, while the boys find it a bit odd that this is happening in the middle of the school year. The principal, seeing the anticipation in the classroom, decides to call Masato Akatsu to join the class. As Akatsu enters, he appears visibly emotional, and the entire class is taken aback when they see him. Despite being only 16 years old, Akatsu has a striking feature: he's completely bald, like an old man. Understanding the curiosity and surprise in the room, the principal steps forward to explain Akatsu's unique condition. He reveals that Akatsu didn't choose to be bald, rather, it was an unfortunate mishap. Akatsu had mistakenly used his father's hair removal cream, thinking it was a hair tonic. The principal, who himself experiences hair loss, sympathizes with Akatsu's predicament. Now it's Akatsu's turn to introduce himself to the class. With a blend of confidence and humor, he admits that he has an unusual hobby of strolling through pharmacy. He even jokes that his favorite words are hair follicle, drawing a few chuckles from his classmates. Despite the lightheartedness of his introduction, Akatsu doesn't shy away from acknowledging that his recent days haven't been easy. However, he expresses his hope to create beautiful memories with everyone in the class. Akatsu's heartfelt words strike a chord with the class, leading to an emotional outpouring. Some students shed tears, while others offer applause. The students shout words of encouragement to Akatsu, making him laugh at the human tendency to accept even the most absurd stories without question. Just when it seems like everyone has bought into Akatsu's story, the principal notices something unusual. There's a tag protruding from Akatsu's head. Acting on impulse, the principal tugs at it, and to everyone's astonishment, a wig falls to the ground. The real Akatsu, with hair intact, stands there as if nothing had happened. The principal, somewhat exasperated, scolds Akatsu for pulling off such a stunt. However, Akatsu isn't one to back down. He explains that his hair has miraculously grown back, perhaps due to the shock. To emphasize his point, he plucks several tufts of hair from his head, pretending to be confused and even cursing his own hair follicle. This bizarre situation causes a momentary glitch in the room, with students trying to process the rapid turn of events. However, the atmosphere eventually calms down, and the principal intervenes, urging the class to treat their new classmate with kindness and respect. With the confusion settling, Akatsu is directed to his seat in the classroom. As he walks to his chair, he does so with absolute certainty that no one suspects his true identity. His unusual introduction has certainly left a lasting impression on his classmates. But then Akatsu experiences an unexpected moment of enchantment. In the background, he spots a girl, and her sheer beauty leaves him utterly mesmerized. He never imagined that a mere human could be so breathtaking. As Akatsu admires her from afar, his gaze doesn't go unnoticed. The girl responds to his admiring looks with a gentle smile, setting Akatsu's heart aflutter with a bittersweet rush of passion. This unexpected encounter sparks a whirlwind of emotions within him. Lost in the depths of his infatuation, Akatsu's rationality and self-control seem to slip away. His journey to his assigned seat in the classroom takes an unconventional twist, resembling the posture of someone with a broken neck. It's as if he's been transported to a different world, guided solely by the intense emotions stirring within him. Hours later, Akatsu remains deeply affected by this encounter. He can't seem to tear his gaze away from the girl who has captured his heart. In his mind, he paints vivid scenes of a perfect life with her by his side, imagining her as an innocent and lovable presence that would complete his world. His daydreams delve even deeper, envisioning moments they could share together, like late-night gaming sessions where their connection goes beyond the screen. And she asked to get clapped. These fantasies elicit powerful emotions within the young man, but he grapples with the uncertainty of approaching the girl directly. After all, they are practically strangers, and he fears that any hasty move might push her away. In the midst of his internal turmoil, another student decides to make his move. This young man approaches the girl, addressing her as Lily, and comments on the pleasant early spring breeze. He reminisces about the romantic atmosphere that seems to accompany her presence. With a hopeful tone, he suggests that they could start dating, a proposition filled with anticipation. However, the girl, Lily, possesses a unique ability known as Cabal Scare. She uses this power to skillfully deflect and deter the persistent advances of the amorous young man. He becomes flustered and desperate, pleading for her to at least consider his proposal. Lily's extraordinary ability leaves the young man humiliated and rejected. In this moment of emotional turbulence, another student named Yuba Tanagawa intervenes. He introduces himself to the new student, Akatsu, and extends an apology for the commotion caused by the emotionally charged young man, Hirota. Tanagawa proceeds to shed light on Hirota's behavior, explaining that Hirota has a history of openly declaring his affection for any cute girl he encounters. However, as of late, it seems that his obsession has fixated particularly on Lily. Just as they discuss these matters, Hirota himself joins the group. He casually mentions that he got kicked out again, and the group decides to relocate to the hallway. In the hallway, Hirota discusses the event that happened earlier. He mentions that Akatsu's introduction to the class startled everyone a bit, but he reassures Akatsu that he can ask anything he wants to know. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Akatsu becomes curious and inquires about the blonde girl seated at the back of the classroom. Hirota promptly identifies her as Lilia May, a recent transfer student who arrived just before Akatsu did. He provides some background information, explaining that she's of mixed Japanese heritage and is what they call a Keiko Kashijo, which means she's a Japanese person who has always studied abroad until returning to Japan. Inside the classroom, we see Lily accepting an invitation from a friend to prepare for a piano exam that's scheduled for today. Akatsu, however, finds himself unable to stop thinking about her. To him, she appears remarkably short, cute, intelligent, and possesses an outstanding personality. She seems almost otherworldly in her charm. During this conversation, Hirona interjects, suggesting that Akatsu meant to describe Lily as looking like an angel. Surprisingly, this innocent word, angel, provokes a strong reaction from the new student, who becomes visibly irritated, much to the surprise of his new friends. Despite Akatsu's fascination with the blonde girl, Hirota reminds him of the countless times he's been rejected by her. In his earlier attempts, Hirota approached her with calm and polite requests, but as he faced rejection, he resorted to desperate pleas and even begging for her attention. Hirota's relentless pursuit of Lily has led to some humiliating moments for him. Undeterred, Hirota, who's known for his unyielding determination, decides to approach Lily once again. Tanagawa intervenes, trying to hold him back. Akatsu, on the other hand, observes how Lily seems to effortlessly captivate those around her, despite her unassuming appearance. As time passes, Akatsu is on his way home, contemplating a plan to get closer to his crush. Fate takes an unexpected turn when he and Lily literally collide at a random street corner. The girl, emerging from a dimly lit alley, explains that she got lost and happened to run into Akatsu. Realizing that this is a golden opportunity to finally engage in conversation with her, Akatsu's brain races to think of what to say. He decides to reintroduce himself, though he can't help but feel a tinge of embarrassment since she likely already knows who he is. In response, Lily finds his demeanor rather amusing and extends her hand in greeting, introducing herself in return. During their conversation, Akatsu notices that Lily has a torn sleeve. When he points it out, Lily becomes uncomfortable and tries to change the subject. She eventually mentions that their meeting must be fate, and she suggests celebrating it with a cool tea. Her sweet words touch Akatsu's heart, but he remains focused and confidently accepts her invitation. As they walk together, they discover that both of their parents live abroad. Lily comments on how challenging it must be for a guy to live alone because chores like washing dishes and laundry still need to be done. Akatsu assures her that he's perfectly capable of taking care of all the household tasks. Lily playfully suggests that he could invite her over someday to prove it, leaving the door open for a future meeting. As they continue their conversation, Lily becomes distracted and doesn't pay attention while crossing the street. A speeding truck suddenly approaches, putting her in danger. In a moment of sheer determination, Akatsu's eyes seem to transform into a determined expression, and he uses his incredible strength to stop the truck with his shoulder, preventing it from running over Lily. This extraordinary feat leaves Lily both frightened by the marks on Akatsu's face and inexplicably intrigued, prompting a brief smile. A crowd begins to gather around the accident scene, and people call for an ambulance. However, instead of waiting around, Lily quickly pulls Akatsu away from the commotion. They find themselves in a quiet square later in the afternoon, and Akatsu mentions that the pain in his shoulder has subsided. Lily apologizes for causing all the confusion, but Akatsu reassures her, saying she doesn't need to worry. Feeling more at ease, Lily takes the opportunity to ask Akatsu about his true identity. She points out that he stopped a truck with his shoulder, and his ears and eyes don't quite look human. In this critical moment, Akatsu finds himself in a precarious situation after inadvertently revealing his true identity. However, he's pleasantly surprised to see that Lily doesn't seem to react negatively to the possibility that he's not human. This prompts him to consider sharing a few secrets with her. He decides to partially transform his body, and confesses that he's a demon who ended up in the human world because Hell is losing a war against the angels. Akatsu's mission is to find a charismatic leader who can rally the forces of Hell and turn the tide of the war. However, he hasn't succeeded in locating this leader yet. He expresses his desire for Lily to assist him in this mission, occasionally descending to Hell with him to aid in the search. Although Lily is initially apprehensive about the existence of demons, she recognizes that Akatsu, despite being one, saved her life and displayed kindness. However, she's unsure about how she can contribute since she doesn't possess any special ability, and she fears that people on the other side might become angry with her for some reason. Akatsu tries to reassure Lily, emphasizing that no one could become angry with someone as lovely as her. In a surprising turn of events, Lily immobilizes Akatsu with a magical chain and reveals her true identity as a servant of heaven, an angel. She mocks Akatsu and expresses her amusement at his attempt to seduce her. To further demonstrate her power, Lily reveals her angelic wings and explains that she created the unbreakable chains restraining Akatsu. She mocks him and claims that few angels possess her talent for creating such formidable objects. Feeling nervous after facing 2 demons in one day, Lily decides to inflict a minor form of torture by poking Akatsu in the eye with her finger. Confused by her mention of 2 demons, Akatsu learns that the tear in Lily's sleeve was caused by the demon she was defeating in the alley before meeting him. She explains that she let her guard down, thinking the enemy couldn't harm her. However, when he ruined her clothes, she chose to humiliate the demon before exorcising him slowly. Now, she must decide how to exorcise Akatsu. On the other hand, Akatsu is unashamed of being defeated by an enemy in a war, as he had a similar intention as Lily. However, he's determined to teach this angel not to underestimate demons and manages to break free from the chains. Akatsu's attacks proved ineffective against Lily, the angel who effortlessly evaded all his moves. Without breaking a sweat, she managed to chain him once again. However, Lily recognized that Akatsu was a step above the common demons she usually dealt with, making her hesitant to exorcise him. This realization left Akatsu with no apparent escape. Lily summoned a massive magical sign and presented him with a choice: reveal Hell's plans and leave alive or face immediate exorcism. Akatsu doubted that the angel would spare his life, and as she raised the scythe to execute her attack, he prepared for the inevitable. But when Akatsu opened his eyes again, he found that Lily had changed her mind. Instead of immediately finishing him off, she decided to keep him under her supervision and compel him to collaborate with her work. To seal this agreement, she offered him a special collar personally crafted by a maid. Despite his initial resistance, Akatsu eventually relented and questioned why Lily wanted to keep him around. She used her charm and explained that she required his assistance to achieve her goals. While she couldn't disclose all the details, she promised to set him free if he accepted the arrangement. Angels couldn't lie, but the decision to trust her rested with Akatsu. In the worst-case scenario, he'd be left lying on the ground until someone with malicious intent captured a photo of him and shared it with the world. With this, Akatsu finally agreed to cooperate. Before releasing him, Lily demonstrated that the collar offer was genuine and attempted to fasten it around his neck. Akatsu resisted like a cornered crab and begged for mercy, but Lily made it clear that mercy was not in her nature. She successfully secured the collar around Akatsu's neck, threading the buckle through the hole, leaving him in a peculiar state of both terror and acceptance. Now, Akatsu found himself under the control of the angel, unable to return to hell as long as he remained affected by the collar's binding effect. This brings an end to this episode. Subscribe our channel for the next episode.